198 cubes, 3.4-inch bore, 4 main bearings. It ought to be easy on gas.
Mr. Titchener, may I give it my own little test now?
Give it the works, Ethel. The Duster's big enough to take it.
The Plymouth Duster should have been as much of a cult car as the Plymouth Barracuda is today. Still, it didn't get as much attention as it should have during the muscle car collector craze. It might be because it came along late, or because it was only around for a short time. Here are some things about the Plymouth Duster. The Duster was a Valiant coupe. The Valiant was a small car. The Plymouth Duster is a semi-fastback two-door car that cost $15 million to make. This was done to make it look and feel sportier. In 1970, the Duster was labeled as a Valiant, but after that it was just called the Duster. It had the same front end as the Valiant. The 198 and 225 slant-six engines and 318 and 340 V8s were the only engines available at first. This year there were 3 trims: the regular Duster, the 340 Performance Duster, and the Gold trim, which came out in the middle of the year of 1970.
Meet Dodge Demon, the brand new economy coupe. And if there's any fun around, Demon's gonna find it.
The Duster was key to the Dodge Demon. The Duster became a runaway success, pitted against the likes of the slightly smaller Ford Maverick and the AMC Hornet. The Duster also managed to compete well with the slightly larger Chevrolet Nova. Of course, while the Maverick and the Nova also came in 4-door versions, the Plymouth Duster was a 2-door coupe for all of its short, if impactful, life. It was also marked as the alternative to the Volkswagen Beetle, and enjoyed so much attention that soon Dodge also wanted its very own version of the Duster. So in 1971, the Dodge got the Demon, and the rest, as they say, is history. These are the things you probably didn't know about the Duster. The unmistakable Duster logo. You know, not many people know that the Plymouth Duster was going to be named after a Warner Brother character. The Duster was going to have the name based on the cartoon Tasmanian Devil, like the Plymouth Roadrunner. By that time, Warner Brothers had pulled out of the deal because they wanted a lot more money, so the Duster got the name Duster. Thomas Birch of Chrysler made the image, which was also based on how the Tasmanian Devil moves in the cartoon, which is in a cloud of dust. So the image for the Duster became a twister with eyes. It is still one of the most well-known car designs to this day. Next on some of the things you probably didn't know about the Duster is the performance at a cheap price. The top trim of the Duster offered a 340 V8 that pushed out 275 horses and 340 foot-pound of torque. For a car the Duster's size, these were serious performance numbers. The 198 and 225 slant-six engines managed 125 and 145 horses respectively, which could also propel the Duster with good speed. Of course, the 5.5-liter 340 V8's performance was boss, with a 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint of 6.2 seconds and a quarter-mile run in 14.7 seconds. All that performance came at just $2,947 for the top trim. Ford Mustang cost upwards of $3,300, so the Duster was quite the steal.
Priced only $73.95 more than this 4-passenger Vega is this 5-passenger Plymouth Duster with deluxe wheel covers, 15 more horsepower, bigger trunk, brakes, and white wall tires.
The biggest and most important change to the 1971 Plymouth Duster was that the Valiant logos on the fenders were taken off. The Duster had become its own car and was easy to spot on the road. The Duster Twister was another new trim. In 1971, more than 186,000 Dusters were made. Even though horsepower went down because of a new way of measuring, the power of the 1972 model stayed the same. In 1973, the Plymouth Duster was spruced up. The Valiants and the Plymouth Duster were refurbished for this year. There was a new hood and grille, and the fenders, bumpers, and taillights were redesigned. The taillights were surrounded by chrome. An interesting tidbit is that the Dodge Demon was now called the Dart Sport because some church groups had a problem with the demonic name. Changes were made to the disc brakes and rear wheels, and a 3-speed automatic transmission was added as an option. A Space Duster package was also added, which had nothing to do with space and more to do with car space. The back bench could be folded down to add to the cargo space.
This vinyl roof's the part that's best. No extra charge when you buy all the rest, and you're gonna get miles and miles from a gallon of gas. Gold Duster.
Despite 1974 being flushed with the first wave of the oil crisis, the Plymouth Duster outperformed every other year's sales by shipping out more than 280,000 vehicles. The engine was now a 5.9-liter 360 V8, detuned to meet the strict emission regulations of the day. The Duster was still all heart and muscle.
Volare has a special suspension that gives you a smooth, comfortable ride, like a big car. You'll love it. Volare.
In the middle of 1976, the Plymouth Duster was suddenly replaced by the Plymouth Volare, and the Dodge Dart was replaced by the Dodge Aspen. We all know how this sad story ends. The Volare and the Aspen were some of the most beautiful cars Dodge and Plymouth ever made, but they weren't well made. Both cars were perfect examples of rust buckets.
About 2 years ago, Art McQueen noticed that the left front fender on his 76 Volare was starting to rust.
The moisture in the air made them rust like nothing else, and this soon brought about the end to the Volare and later Plymouth in general by the turn of the 21st century. The Plymouth Duster was a truly fun muscle car. One reason why so many people bought the Plymouth Duster was that the insurance was a little bit tricky. The Duster 340 was a real power car, so the insurance rates of more than $1,000 a year hurt buyers in the pocketbook. So in the first few years, people who wanted to buy a Duster would go to their insurance agents and tell them they were buying a Valiant 2-door coupe, and down the rates would go. Of course, this game could not last too long when the insurance agents figured out that this was a Duster and then asked if the Duster was a V8. But it lasted for a while and made the Duster a very popular car during its short but respectable lifespan. Well, there you have it. Some things you probably didn't know about the Plymouth Duster. What'd you think? Do you own one? Did you own one? Did you try to deceive your insurance agent? Let us know. Leave a comment below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell for future notifications of Boca Brother videos. This is Danny B of the Boca Brothers. On behalf of my brother Michael J, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.